Sales of the iPhone 4 are through the roof, 1.7 million in just the first 3 days alone. But since it came out, many customers have had problems with the new phone's reception. And now, after testing iPhone 4, Consumer Reports says it cannot recommend buying it. Paul Reynolds is Consumer Reports electronics editor. He is with us this morning. Now, just for history's sake, every iPhone thus far, Consumer Reports has said, we love this thing.
Correct. Each generation of iPhone we have recommended, and this is a very fine phone in almost all respects.
Right.
It's really an improvement in many ways on previous generations. It does have this one performance glitch that we think Apple needs to fix, and before we will recommend it wholeheartedly.
Give them the big okay. So here is the brand new iPhone. It's glorious, it's sleek, it looks as cool as anything possible. But if I'm holding it like a normal human being might be holding it, I don't know, can you see right there? There's a little bit of a gap there in the metal on the outside. And the metal on the outside is part of the antenna, right?
Correct.
So if I hold it like a normal human being does, I'm actually covering up that gap, and as a result, I'm affecting the ability to receive the signal strength.
Right. What we found in our tests, and as you said, there are a lot of anecdotal reports of reception problems. What we did is take this phone, compare it to some other AT&T phones in our labs under controlled conditions, and what we found was that when your finger was over that gap, there was a good chance that the signal strength would in fact drop, and drop enough that if you were in the middle of a call, you might lose that call. Right.
So it's very interesting because within the Apple world, people who use these things, they're up in arms and people's hair is on fire and everything else. But there really is a pretty simple solution, right?
There's a simple solution. It's not an elegant one, but it's cheap and easy, and it is what we did. We looked at several kinds of tape, and we actually found that duct tape covering over that gap, either that way or around the edge, might be even a little more elegant, but that will actually remedy the problem. It's probably the case also that using a case or a bumper would do that as well. Right. Anything to prevent your finger from joining those two pieces of the antenna would probably work. And that's the kind of fix that we think Apple will provide, hopefully something a little more elegant than our engineers came up with.
So once they provide a fix, will you give them the, presumably all things being equal, you would give them the high sign, give them the...
We'd go back and take a look at that. I mean, this is a very high scoring phone actually in our ratings, and it has many, many things to recommend it. So, yes, we would certainly take a look at that.
But you also suggest, because a lot of people, for no matter what kind of iPhone or whatever sort of high-tech phone, use these little wraps, little protective wraps. Right. So in case you drop them, whatever, those things might prevent the signal from going out.
Those things might prevent it. I mean, our position is we would hope that some fix would be coming up with, and one that wouldn't cost consumers money in order to use their phone in a normal fashion.
So in the meantime, I'm going to be selling these little strips of gaffer's tape out in front of the iPhone store, you know, for what, 25 bucks, you think? There's an app for that. All right, Paul Reynolds, thanks very much.
A lot happens early on The Early Show, weekday mornings on CBS.